Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Monday, November 29th, and this is episode 57. So let's see if anybody's going to hop on before I get started. I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I had a very nice Thanksgiving. Ended up just being two of us because of some potential exposure to COVID, but it was still a wonderful full meal, and I finished up the rest of it last night. So let me get fixed here for a minute and see if I can do this right. And I did. There we go. How about that? After all this time, I'm finally figuring out something right. Now, let's get my face in the right spot. Well, that's good enough. There we go. Hi, Sue. Welcome. Hope you had a nice Thanksgiving. Okay, let's see what's happening here. I'm just kind of rearranging things. I've just been making this little card that I'm going to show you today, which is a quick and easy diagonal fold Christmas card. But this is a card that you can use for any occasion, this particular fold and design. It's another fun fold, which I thought I would have today, using up some of the designer paper that I have. And so I think the amazing part about it is I have not sat down to actually make quote unquote Christmas cards for this year, but by doing all of my Facebook lives and so on, where I make a lot of cards ahead of time, I have quite a few cards that I need to get ready and send out. So I think that's what I'll be doing tonight and tomorrow night, to get things addressed and in the mail. Hi, Gloria, welcome. So let's get started. And let's see, want to just a couple quick reminders. Tomorrow is the last day to take advantage of the sign-up bonus of, not a bonus, but actually $75 instead of the regular $99 to choose $125 worth of product. And I welcome Gloria. She's now part of my team because she took advantage of that offer, and just become a happy shopper for yourself. And then the Eden's Garden is still available as the bundle of these items over here that will not be available in the next catalog. These two, the stamps and the stamp dies, stamps and dies will be in the next catalog. So, and again, these are as supplies last. So I just want to keep reminding, hope that is not a problem. And then you can expect to get this catalog and this catalog in the mail if you are a customer of mine. I can't open them yet, but these will be coming out. Demonstrators can pre-order from here starting Wednesday, actually, and I have some items already that I will start showing sneak peeks of, because I went to our on stage at home event a couple of weeks ago. And then for customers, this becomes available January 4th through February of 2022. Can you believe it will be in 2022? Oh my gosh. So those items will be available then. All right, back to what we're doing today. I have gone through an array of my Christmas designer paper And as when I get to the end, I'll show you some of the other examples that I've made. But I decided to do this one. This was one of my favorite designer papers in the catalog. I love that it is such a neutral color. So if you have just guys that this needs to go to, this is a great paper. It's on page 37 in the mini catalog, and it's part of the Peaceful Place suite of products. And I know early on I did demonstrate with this, and the papers are absolutely gorgeous. It's a specialty paper, and by specialty it means that we've got the some silver in this case. Some of the specialty ones have another kind of metallic, and that's what makes them special. They're special on one side, and then the other side is usually more of a plain or no metallic part on it. So I'm going to get these Peaceful Cabin things out again. Those are great. This whole suite is great for just plain old winter, and we know that winter will be coming soon. Got snow on the ground here. So that's where that's coming from. And then the other part of what I'm going to use today is, don't think this is a full suite. No, it's not a suite. It is the Merry Snowflakes bundle. So we're into some snowflakes and the Stitch Snowflakes dies. That's what I'm using there. And the sentiments that I'm using are the Merry Snowflakes. So sadly I've not used these as much, so I needed to pull these out and get going with them. So I'm also using seasonal labels, and let's see what page those are on. Those are on page 31. Yeah, these others are on page 13. So 31 has seasonal labels. Is that right? Did I get the right one? I don't think I did. Welcome, Fran. Seasonal labels dies. Page 18, excuse me. Look down wrong. And that goes with this group of products, and I like it because of the labels that are in here. All of these great labels that can be used. And of course there are some pine cones and some leaves, but the labels are great. And then these little things here, which I'll get that turned over and show you, are so that you can make ribbon slides to put through there. And this one too. I use those. I don't think I've used those, but these are great labels to have. And then here's a really big one. So there's a lot here. Oh, there's some holly and there's another leaf. So some of these are really big and some a little bit smaller to go with this particular bundle. So let's get going. Okay, put them away before they slide out. And if you ever lost a die on the floor, they're really hard to find, especially on a dark floor. All right. So with that, I have taken a piece of this. I've already made a card out of the other part. This is a 12 by 12 piece of designer paper. I love the gray and the silver on here. And then on the other side, we've got the wonderful buffalo check, which is so trendy and so, oh, I just love it. I love the buffalo check, whether it's gray and white, red and white. Can't have enough of it. So this is what I'm going to use. I don't want to show you the original card just yet. It has a little flaw in it, and that's what I will point out a little bit later. So we need our paper trimmer. for doing some scoring. So let me move some things out of the way. And for this, I will need to pull out my extension and the arm on this. So hopefully you can see it without too much glare from my light up above. But I want to score this at 2. So if you want to write this down, you can do that. So we've got a piece that's 5.5 by 12. So you can get two of these out of one piece of designer paper. Make sure that you've got your score blade here, not the cutting one yet, and score at 2, 4, then slide it all the way down to 8, and 10. So what this amounts to right now is like what we would call a gatefold card that will open up as a little gate, but I'm going to make a diagonal fold Christmas card. Hi Nancy, welcome. Okay, I'm not quite done yet with this, but let me show you what we've got. You can do this 2 different ways. However you choose what you want to have on the outside or the inside. And I did my original one like this. So the stars are on the inside. The stars, excuse me, stars and snowflakes, whatever. So this alone could create a lovely card. And because it kind of wants to pop open, you do want to put a belly band around it, which we'll be doing a little bit later with this design. So that makes a great card right there. You would put a piece of cardstock in the center to create your sentiment. You can decorate the outside as much as you like, or belly band with a little tag on the front. So this is a great one right there. But to make what I'm going to do, let's see, I'm going to turn it over just to make this one different than the sample that I'll show you. This one, let's get this nice crease on here. So to be able to fold on this and get the diagonal cut, I want to line this up at 2 3/4. That's half of 5.5. So I want to line this up on my trimmer at 2 3/4 and make a little pencil mark right at that point. And you can use your little ditch. You can use your little ditch or trough, whatever you want to call it, cutting track, whatever name you call it, at both ends. With a pencil so I can erase that later. And then we want to cut from that mark to the 4-inch score. So I'm going to lay that down on my cutter and line that 4-inch right up into that track and cut that diagonal off. Now, if you don't have a cutter that's like this where you can do that, you could just probably score that or draw a line with your pencil and cut it by hand. So it's really important, and that's what I will show you later, to make sure that this 4-inch score line goes right into that little trough so that they line up. And now you want to move your score blade out of the way and use your cutting blade. And that comes right to that point. Now I've done a couple where it slipped at the last minute and that it didn't come to that point. It went a little bit beyond it. And it makes a little bit of a difference in looking at the card. And of course we're critical of our own work anyway. So now I'm going to line the next one over at the same time and line that 4-inch up, and then just turn my paper. Make sure that that stays at the 4-inch, the 4-inch score, and line this up where I made the other little tick mark down here and cut this one. I just yesterday, put a new blade in my trimmer. Oh my goodness, what a difference that makes. All right, so now we have this. And again, that makes a nice little card too, with a belly band around it. But we've got one more little thing to do. And that is using these two pieces that we cut off. And it makes a nice little contrast. So before I go on though, I want to caution you about watching the orientation of your paper. This particular pack of paper, the Peaceful, what was it, Peaceful Pines or whatever, it goes with the Peaceful Cabin. Not every design in that pack of paper would be good for this kind of card because of the orientation. A lot of those have tall trees on them, and I just looked at it and thought not all of those would be good. So you have to watch your orientation of your paper to make sure that something doesn't get turned. And ask me how I know, because I wasn't paying attention to the first one of these that I made, and my trees, or tiny green trees, were upside down. So I'll show that to you later. So what are we going to do with these? We're going to put these on the paper, and before I glue them down, you'll see what it's going to look like. We're going to put these on here like this. So now when it folds, it will look like this. And it's just a nice, fun little contrast between your front and your back. And you'll see the opposite when I show you the original, not my original, but my other little sample that I made for today. So now let's glue these down. And I strongly recommend that you've got a silicone mat. And I find that the liquid glue works the best. Let's get the little gummy part off of there. And my fingers are already kind of sticky. And attach this. You want to get your little tips on there pretty well, but obviously not go over the edge where it's going to leak out or ooze out. We've got that one. Yes, I love just the grays and the silvers on this one. And then line that up. So it's so cool on this to be able to use your leftover pieces. And I'm going to, only because I know where it is, I'm going to see if I can erase, let's find a better eraser. Erase that little tick mark there. Okay, so there's one. And do the same thing over here. So these are easy to make. You can get 2 out of 1 piece of 12 by 12 paper. See if I can keep from getting my fingers sticky. Line that up there, lay it down. So there's what your card looks on the inside. And while we're doing this, oh, I'm so sticky. Let's see, what can I do to get some of that sticky off? There, that's better. For the inside, you don't want to fill up the entire piece because you want this part up here to be able to show when it's closed. So this is a 3 3/4 by 3 3/4 piece to go in the center. And before I put that down, let's go ahead and stamp on it. And I'm going to use Season's Greetings from the Merry Snowflakes to go on the in the center. And Basic Gray. So this is pretty much a monochromatic basic gray card. Let's see, that's kind of big, but I did check this out and it does fit. And it's always good to stamp first before you glue something down. Yay, I don't have anything on there. Good. So you don't have to turn it over if you make a mistake. Okay, let's add some adhesive to this. And there are other great sentiments in this, as well as some pretty snowflakes. So now that is done, and let's give this a nice crease with those new pieces added on there. All right, and this came out just perfect up here at the edge. Okay, next is to create the belly band. And I found just in this case to use a piece of basic white. And you want this loose enough so that it can be slid off for whoever gets the card. So just kind of fold that around. And this is also a good way to use your grid paper, if you've got some kind of ruler there, to line it up so that you get it straight. And wrap that around. And if this is, it could be a little bit too long, but it works just like that, and give it a nice crease. So there's our little belly band. And then make sure that it can be slid off, so it will be able to slide off. Okay, and if you want that seam to go in the front so that it's not seen, and there's no seam in the back, you can bring it around the front and decide if you really want that much length on this, because I'm going to add a label from that Seasonal Labels die pack, and that can go either this way, and I know it covers up a lot of that prettiness, but somebody's going to pull that off anyway. And in that case, you might want to cut off a part of this. So I'm going to trim that off so that there's no seam in the back. So grab my scissors here, my snips, and take about maybe 3/4 of an inch or whatever off of that so that that doesn't show. And there's no seam in the back. So now I can add some adhesive to either one of these ends here, okay, to about that much of it. I go through so much green glue. Green only because it's in a green container. It's actually called Tombow Multi-Liquid Glue. And that's multi because you can actually let this dry before you adhere it to something else. And it creates like a little sticky note. Did you know that? And then you can create a sticky note that becomes removable, and that it also has a bold or a flat end here for larger areas that you might want to cover. So it is just the greatest glue. Okay, get that back on there. Although I typically use this end most of the time. And I don't know that I've ever shown this on here. Maybe I have, but it's been a long time ago. This is one of those yogurt containers with a big glob of hot glue in there. And you put one of your lids from your glue in there and let it set, and then just put that in there so that your glue is always upside down. You know that you will have glue toward the end of it and not have to shake it all the time unless it gets empty. And then when you're ready to trade it out and get a new one, that stays there. Take the lid from the new one, put it on this one to throw it away, and then put that back down in there. So this has been so handy. There are a lot of different containers that you can use, something that's maybe not quite this big, using that much glue, but this one just kind of stays on my table. You could use probably something that one of our embellishments comes in too. I think I've seen it like that. So I've got something in one of these little old embellishment containers. So just a great way to make your glue handy and make it work. All right, let's finish up here. So now this is going to be so easy and simple. I've got this little label. It can go either way. It's a perfect size for this. And let's see, what did I do? I guess I did just glue that on there. Yes, so I'm just going to add some glue to the back of this. More glue. And then I cut out some snowflakes from the, what are they called again? Stitched snowflake dies. Stitched snowflakes dies. That's kind of like a little tongue twister. And I'm just going to put one of those right on here with a glue dot. So I put this in the simple, elegant category of a card. simple to make, it's elegant. Make sure I get my stitches going the right way. And put a glue dot right there in the center of that. Put that on the front. And, oh, let's see. I had, where'd they go? There. These are the Silver and Clear Epoxy Essentials. So the silver really works for this. And just put one of those in the center. Slide it off of there with the, take a pick tool, put one of those in the center. And then the last thing I like to do is tap my Wink of Stella and I know this should be pretty good. There's enough left in there. Get that started. And tap it with your, I like to use a bone folder. You can use a lot of other things. Now on this one, it's not as obvious, but it still adds a little bit of sparkle. You can also add some sparkle to the snowflake all by itself. I love the Wink of Stella. That's why I miss the shimmer paint that we used to have. I miss that so much because that was my go-to to add shimmer and fun stuff to just about every card. So there, that does make a difference. So now let's assume that you're getting this card. You just slide this off. Open it up. Season's Greetings. And I do have another little snowflake to put in here. And that will just about finish it. And there's still plenty of room to write a sentiment, to write your own sentiment under Season's Greetings and sign your card. So let's add this up here. Make sure it doesn't go over where the score line was. And there we go. Slide this back on, and you might need to curve it a little bit to get it to fit in. And there we go. Now let me show you the other card that I made from the other half of this piece, and there was this one. So they're twins, but they're not twins. They're like fraternal twins, not identical twins. But if you can see here where I didn't get that 4-inch score line, right? I think it's kind of fuzzy right there. Right where it's supposed to be, it's a little bit off right there. And to me, I noticed that. Maybe somebody else wouldn't notice it. But so those are the twins. These were the other ones that I made, and I've got several others ready to go, but they're not done. So this is one with, would be a real nice girly one. 'Tis the Season, and I actually forget the name of this paper. This, I ordered only the paper. I did not get the bundle for this one, but it's really pretty. This is another one I was just a little bit off up there. If your lighting isn't good, I think it was just hard to see. And there one says, "Have a holly jolly Christmas." so I won't put that back on there. Here is another one in green. This is one where I did on my first sample get my trees going in the wrong direction. Friends like you make this season special. A joyful Christmas to you and yours. Here was another one with the same designer paper that this was from. And this is with the mint macaron. And we have these, I forget where I put them, these specialty snowflakes. They're die cuts that just pop out. They are beautiful. They're kind of a shimmery on one side and a white on the other. And this one I have not put a sentiment on the inside yet, but that's that paper. Love that one. And here's one I was playing around with. I believe this paper is actually retired. The sentiment is not. With the kind of candy cane stripe. And then a wood grain. And then a joyful Christmas to you and yours. But again, this paper was retired. It just still happened to be in my stash. So that is it for today. And I hope you learned something, whether it's about how to make this card or the glue. And enjoy. Next week we will be into December, and it will be December 6th already. So thanks, Deanna. Whimsy and Wonder. Thank you for that reminder. You looked it up, and I got a comment from you. So thanks for joining. So enjoy the rest of your week. Have a great end of November, beginning of December, and stay safe, be happy. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.